The toughest part about presentation is getting this thing to work. So how do I do this? Do I go like bunk? I go like bunk. Okay. I think it's fitting that I start, not because I'm 100 years old and older than everybody else here, but the fact that the most important thing about consumerism is the confidence of a consumer. All right? If you feel confident about your lot in life, you will spend money. If you spend money, the economy does well. So I'm going to take you through a few slides about what's going on, predictions for 2017 and where Vietnam is going in terms of confidence, and more importantly, where are people spending their money. So, number one, you see ahead of me or behind me, confidence took a real dip a few years back. If you recall, we had the stock market bubble crash, we had the real estate bubble crash, so on and so forth. What we're seeing today is that confidence is back up, it's leveled off, all right? So, in other words, it's a positive. This year looks to be stable, it looks to be good, it looks to be productive. Number two, when we ask people, how confident are you, i.e., how do you see 2016 versus 2017? Worse, better, the same, all right? Your consumers, 55% agree that it's going to be better than last year. However, your business people, 67% say it's better. Now, what does that mean? For business people, you're usually more well-read, okay? You're usually ahead of trends. You know more about business. What that basically means is that you have a better understanding of the economy than, say, your average consumer. It's also called Keynesian economic trickle-down theory. In other words, what happens is consumer sees the good later than business people do. On the inverse, when the economy starts to hit the toilet, business people see it quicker and their confidence goes down. So bottom line is, by the look of what business people are thinking, confidence, consumerism is going to increase this year. Now, what are we talking about? What are people concerned about? Well, number one is the devaluation of the Vietnam dong. If we take a look at this time last year, we're talking about 21.7, right? Today we're talking about 22.7. What it means is that the Vietnam dong is actually able to buy less. On a positive, inflation has been very small. So in terms of the actual cost, it hasn't been that impactful. The second thing that people are worried about is the cost of living, all right? My wife is a housewife who has 2 children, okay? So it's expensive to have baby formula and this kind of stuff and so on and so forth. And she came up to me at the start of this year and said, Ralph, I need to increase my salary a month by 25%. And I went, hold on. Where do you get this 25%? Inflation was only this. All right? Well, I love you. And I'm only buying organic food now. Now, organic food is a heck of a lot more expensive than your regular mill food, all right? So, we met halfway. Everybody in the household gets organic food but me, and she got a 15% increase, all right? So, but the point is, people spend for different priorities at different levels, all right? And, you know, if you have kids, a milk powder thing is 300,000 dong. That's expensive. If you don't have kids, gee, do you buy Corona or do you buy Heineken? All right, that's the difference. All right, so I like Heineken. So if anybody wants to get me a beer later on, help me out. This I find really interesting. For the last 10 years, education and healthcare have been the number one things that people say they will spend more on. I don't know if you know, but those across Vietnam, doesn't matter if you're in rural Vietnam or urban Vietnam, rich or poor, the average Vietnamese spends about 10% of their income on education, okay? Whether it is self-education or ESL or whatever else, okay? Healthcare, the incomes have gotten to a level where you no longer have to put grandma in the back and wait for her to expire. You can actually go to get drugs and whatever else and so on and so forth, all right? What we've seen this year, healthcare, in terms of what people feel they're going to spend, has dropped 9 levels. 9 levels. What that means is one of two things. Either you don't care about grandma or she's already passed away. Could be one, which I don't think it is. Or Vietnamese are looking at healthcare in a different way. So instead of buying OTC, instead of buying pharmaceuticals, maybe they're starting to look at other ways of spending on healthcare, i.e., going to the gym, going to the spa, playing ice hockey. All right, it's these kind of things. So it's preventative versus reactive, okay? However, 2 other points. Personal care and food and beverage are going up. And that's the first time in a couple of years where we've seen positive growth. So anybody here from Nestle, Unilever, so on and so forth, you should be happy, spend money with me, and you should be happier. But the single largest one is technology, and I'm sure some of our colleagues are going to talk about technology. Everything in technology is absolutely booming. If it's interactive, if it's smart, it works, all right? So if you take a look, like things like smart TVs, smartphones, so on and so forth, are absolutely going through the ceiling. And one of the most interesting, we're doing a huge project right now for a domain provider. And the most interesting thing that I found was, in 4 years' time, the smartphone will be the internet connectivity device, including tablets, what do you call it, internet cafes, PCs, everything. The mobile phone will outstrip all of those. So Vietnam is genuinely becoming mobile, i.e. your communications are mobile. Think about what you do. You spend 2.5 hours on your mobile phone a day. Okay? Another really interesting thing, I started looking at all these beautiful people out here. Look at the nice clothes they have, the nice motorcycles they have, the nice phones they have. And I went, HR, like salary increases, have been what, 4, 5, 6, 7% on average? 4, 5, 6, 7% doesn't buy you a new car. So I thought, are people borrowing money? Holy crap, yes they are. 40% of urban consumers took out at least one loan last year. So what that means is consumer finance is allowing people to spend beyond their means. It's self-gratification. It's self-fulfillment. Remember back in the day when most of you were 20 or 15 and I was here? You know, Jesus, we want to get a rice cooker. We want to get a television. That's gone. We want a what do you call it? We want a full entertainment system. We want a car. We possibly want a second car. So it really is about living life to the fullest and enjoying the successes of Vietnam. And what are they spending their money on? Well, it would make sense. Real estate, we all know that. How many people have bought an apartment in the last 12 months? A lot of smart people are here. I only saw one hand go up. Sorry, yours screwed. No. I'm kidding. Is that Ho? Oh, shit. Sorry, Ho. You know, some things make sense. Education, business, real estate, automotive. But personal? These are things, hey, I want this. I don't need it. I want it. 42%, so almost half of the spend is like on Gucci bags and really cheap glasses and stuff like that. So what does it all mean? What's it all say? Positively, if you're in the FMCG market, FMCG growth in general was like 2-3% last year, pretty crap, all right? And it's largely because what's happening is consumers, because they're taking out loans, because they're buying cars and motorcycles, they're going, right, let's cut down on how much toilet paper we use. Let's cut down on the type of toothpaste we buy. So if you're an FMCG company, you're struggling a little bit because guess what? You're now placed in the consumer basket of a smart TV, a mobile phone, and a car. Before, you were placed in with rice and fish and whatever, okay? However, so I think we're going to see a positive upswing on certain categories with FMCG. On a negative, there is a huge amount of bad debt. Oh, sorry, there's a huge amount of debt which can turn into bad debt very quickly. And how does that happen? If you have one major shit thing happen globally, i.e., say the commodity price of rice and coffee or fuel drops further, guess what? People are going to have to lay off people, so on and so forth. And you're going to have a lot of Vietnamese exposed who have taken out these loans who have no income. So that's the scary part about what I see for the future, all right? But that's, I think, mid to long term. It's what I call, oh my God, what will Donald Trump do next, okay? So we have to be aware of that. So I think that's my 8 minutes. Thank you very much. Enjoy the drinks and think mobile.